Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it start? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystems. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. Today is Sunday, so you know what that means. It's our weekend update. It's going to be a good one today, man. We have so much to talk about. I've been gathering things throughout the week. Yagobi has a bunch of stuff as well. We got so many topics to really go through, and it's going to be a really good show for you guys. It's been an insane week. The first week of Runes is behind us. Going into the second here. A lot of projects, a lot of meme coins, a lot of hype, a lot of FUD from the Ordi guys, and it was really fun. It was definitely entertaining. It would have been a very boring week without it, so we're definitely excited to get into it. So without further ado, let me bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What is up?
Good morning. So it's early Sunday morning for us, so that's why we might seem a little tired. But how was your week? How are you feeling? What's going through your head right now?
Yeah, just I feel like the overall market sentiment was kind of just not the best this past week, but I think it's very temporary. And then a lot of PvP happening within our space. And you saw that, and it wasn't necessarily like people getting wrecked or like huge pump and dumps. It was just more of like, what's going to happen next kind of feel, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so some people were definitely, you could see some people were taking profits a little bit, but then those tokens would kind of recover a little bit and stuff like that. But the feeling that I have is kind of like a calm feeling, before maybe a good storm. Hopefully we'll see in May what starts to happen here.
Yeah, definitely. And we definitely had a lot of runes Merlin FUD as well. What's your take on that? It's obviously coming from like one little tiny sector of the community. It's the guys who faded it, right? The guys that I told you guys are coming out and saying that's all they really have. It's like the bridge isn't open yet, right? They're and you got to remember there's billions of dollars on the side of the bridge, right? So they got to be very safe. They got to make sure nothing goes wrong. So the delay is normal, right? So I'd rather them be safe than get hacked, or the wallet keys fall into the wrong hands and something happens, and then you get the wrong puppet back or the wrong frog back. And let's just take it easy, relax. But what is your view on that?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said is that they have to be very careful with when you have there's two ways to be able to have a bridge here. One, if the opcodes get updated, then you can bridge out that way via smart contract, right? To where it's automated, it's permissionless, and that is the ideal way to do it. But we just don't have that technology on Bitcoin. Or two, you use a multi-sig type of approach, and that's what Merlin uses, and that's what these other L2s are using as well. But when you use that, you're not going to give like a team of 15 the keys to do that, to process these unstakes and all this stuff, or bridges back and forth. And so when you have a floodgate open of people that want to unstake their stuff, you have a couple people that have to be very careful of what they're doing. Then yeah, it's going to take some time to process, but it's okay. At the end of the day, this is, I feel like the biggest thing with Merlin right now isn't about necessarily, yes, the people want to unstake, but it's more about market conditions. I mean, tell me another chain outside of Bitcoin, other than Solana. Solana has meme coins on there, but they've had that for a while, that in terms of activity. But there's no other chain that has like a ton of volume. Every other chain is struggling as well in terms of volume. And so I'm not worried about it. I know it's a market conditions thing. But yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about it. I think that like you definitely rather them be safe than sorry, and you not get the right bitmap back and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we move forward. FUD's going to be there, and that's what I'll just leave it at that. I mean,
Yeah,
we're growing every single day. Like our channel's growing every single day. Our community is growing every single day, and that's what we're focused on is growth rather than staying stagnant or even decreasing in size.
yeah, and to your point with the marketing conditions, Arbitrum fell under below $1 for the first time ever, so that's huge, right? Because
Yeah.
that just shows you where we're at in the cycle, and it's it's going to get to the point where this stuff's going to get bought up, and I'm not worried at anything in this. I think this bull run is going to be massive, and we're just in the part of the bull run where there's not a lot of eyes on us yet, which is a great time to be accumulating. I think we're going to be the ones that make out the best because we're here now and we're not stopping, right? So, but I guess we'll get on to our first topic here because we have a lot to talk about. We'll jump right into the Promethean snapshot here. So the Promethean snapshot will take place on block 841269. I haven't checked what block we're on now. I'll jump over to the mempool.space. So we're on block right now. We're on block 841232. So it's about 30 blocks. So it's close, right?
Yep. Yep. That should be what you're looking at. 6 blocks. So was about 5 hours. It's gonna be about 5. I mean, on average, so probably a little bit more. Maybe I doubt less. So at least 5 hours from now, the snapshot will be taken. So that should be good because then you're kind of moving right along with some of these airdrops, right? This is a big one.
Yeah. And this really took off too. This is Promethean. So I did the math. Every Promethean will get you 904 761 tokens. So the Prometheans get 91% of the supply. 6% of the supply goes to the community. So if you hold a puppet or a frog or there's like 10 or 15 different projects that are gonna get airdrop these. You're gonna get a bit of this decentralized token, which is awesome. So congratulations if you hold any of this to get this free token, but the Prometheans will get you 91%. So this thing's flying. I picked up a couple more of these. I just think that right now it's at $100 million market cap buying this right now because you get the 91%, and I don't see it ever getting below that. And a lot of these pre-runes, they're still selling for big dollars. I mean, it's not going to sell for 0.085, but you can still see this selling for maybe 0.025, and then you get the 900,000 tokens, which is probably worth around, I don't know, $5,000-$6,000 alone at $100 million market cap. So I don't know. I think this is a really good play. It's getting to the point where it's getting late in it now because it's getting so pricey. And when I was saying 100 million, that's when I was picking them up around 0.078. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it seems like it's a good opportunity. The team is really strong. They seem like they've handled this very well. We've said this, numerous times on our live stream. But yeah, so I think it could be a good opportunity. I think it's a little bit high for me personally, but if people do the math and they think it makes sense, then I think that this is one that should play out well. We'll see.
yeah. And that's the thing, guys. Me and Yagobi have completely different investing strategies, and I think that's why this show makes us really good. We will be doing a members video talking to you guys about exactly what is in our personal portfolios. We figured out how to do member lives too. So if you're a member, you can get some member lives where it's only members in there. I was messing around all day yesterday. I've played with a few different things, and I figured it out. So look out for that. But jumping into our next topic here, since we're kind of already here on Magic Eden, there was a few days ago. These things popped. I want to say about Friday night. These things popped up called Rune Punks. They were taking punk pictures, taking them to at some places like Luminex or wherever. You're putting the picture in, you're putting the words in. So if you look at it, it's just punk and then the words 9628, right? So what do you think about this? The first rune inscriptions. 10K collection. Obviously, it's not original at all. But what's your opinion on the rune inscriptions?
I mean, I don't really like it, but it is what it is. Whenever you have a new meta protocol like this, you can always put the file stuff on chain, and so this is just kind of inevitable that it would happen. People see this as an opportunity for them to make money, in my opinion. But we'll see if this grows into something else. You know, that was the whole point of having runes roll into the Ord client was, you know, it's going to be the fungible side, and then the non-fungible side is going to be ordinals. But I mean, we'll see what happens, man. This is kind of the same thing as like the atomical art, pipe art, stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I just don't think we need it. I don't think we need it, but the market's going to dictate if we need it or not, I guess.
Do you think a 10K collection, original collection, will do well, or it's the same old, same old?
It probably will. It probably will, but you know, we'll see if this fades away or if it doesn't. I mean, we'll see, you know, because there's only so much money over here, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
not like every time there's a new way of doing something, it's like it cuts the pie in another sliver of the pie. Now we have like, you know, all these meta protocols, and every time like there's like the liquidity is coming from those other meta protocols into this, or trying to, unless you have new people come in. And so that's what I don't like about it, is like the pie is only, you know, there's only so many slices you can have in there until it's like, you know, what's our focus over here? Are we focused or not, you know? So
Yeah.
that's
And
kind
it
of, I mean, I
doesn't
know
feel.
that doesn't sound like very positive, but like I mean, I'm just telling you how I feel about it.
I mean, we definitely need new people right here, right? It's just PvP right now, so player versus player. We're just all just trading money back and forth as the way it looks. But okay. So our next thing here is so Buoyant Capital, they did the Lobo the Wolf Pup airdrop. They did a great job, absolutely amazing. If you held a runestone, you got 100,000. If you held a door, you got 317,000. I held a door. And the thing is, so they went and said when one door closes, another door opens, and it never ends. Also, just before the snapshot was taken, they tweeted HODL is the alpha. So, and then you saw hold is the alpha, but then you saw the rune doors really fall almost to nothing, and then came all the way back to about $1,000 a piece. What's your take on Buoyant Capital and everything that they've done so far?
I mean, I think that I look at them as a you know, a integral part of like the dog or the whole runestone situation. They were the ones that look like, you know, I don't know. I guess after they won that initial auction, they seemed like they were like, okay, let's team together, let's work together in terms of being able to help facilitate these airdrops in terms of like multiple tokens. And so I don't know what's going to happen with all this, because this is new. You know, this type of approach is so new, like to any space, to where it's just been like you buy an NFT, and I know what, you know, they're not called NFTs over here, but you buy like a digital artifact and you get tokens. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I just don't know, you know, how this is all going to play out. It's just it's weird. It's weird. It seems I kind of like it, but I also don't know, just because we've never gone into this territory before. Sometimes it's good to just, you know, go into the unknown and see what happens. I feel like that's kind of what we're doing here. You know, because we need a runes like a runes market, like mass inflow of like capital, and we have yet to see that yet, right? And so we'll see how this is with like these ordinals, and they're wanting you to keep them, and there's gonna be another snapshot and all this stuff. You know, there's money that's flowing into these ordinals. Will that money flow back into the runes tokens? That's kind of the question, because right now it's this weird mechanism
Yeah.
that we've never dealt with before, in terms of like over and over and over. And so that's what I'm hoping happens, is like if they're trying to keep people to hold these, like the capital isn't going, you know, I don't know, it's going into these tokens, I guess. I hope. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Some of the best tokens have PFP projects, right? Like Pups has an amazing PFP project. Do you think this could be Lobo the Wolf Pup PFP collection,
No.
different Lobos and stuff like that? You don't think so? Take the
Well,
10K collection.
maybe with because they're doing the yeah, it depends. You know, Puffs is very unique. Puffs is
Yeah,
like a once in a you know, I would say like maybe 3 4 collections like that happen per cycle, like in terms of that energy and stuff and community growth. and like that level I'm talking about. And so it's going to be really, really hard to match that. You got to have the community to do it, and you have to be able to have like good community leaders. Like Pups has multiple leaders, like Farmer Joe has Hills. Like Eric was part of their community for a while, and they have all these other members like Decentralized and all
Yep.
these people that like help coordinate stuff. Does Lobo have that? I mean, if you don't have that, you're not going to get that same thing.
Yeah, but you got to remember too, like a lot of those guys were they were from a different ecosystem that came over, right? Like I think a lot of them from the Wazies community, and then they created everything with that. But I definitely agree with you. But I think that could be successful. I think a Lobo to Wolf Pup PFP collection could do well. I'm not saying it do amazing like Pups, but I think it could do something like with the guys from Genie Data did with their was it the Good Things?
Feeling good.
Feeling good, something like that would be
Yeah.
kind of cool. I mean, just another collection to kind of keep it flowing. But yeah, I'm bullish on these guys for sure. What do you think?
Yeah.
Bullish,
I
bearish?
mean, I'm kind of in the middle. Like it's kind of I need to see stuff. I need to see more. I feel like Genie Data was something they proved like themselves over their past, like and then also every day they bring value to the space.
Yeah,
Right, with information on data and stuff on this on the assets in the space and all this stuff. And so what Buoyant Capital needs to do is really prove that like they're here for the long term. We know Genie Data is not going to go anywhere unless like
yeah,
Ordinals dies. You know what I'm saying? Because like they literally like aggregate data for everybody.
yeah,
And so Buoyant Capital doesn't have that type of place. But what they can do is form something similar to that. I don't know what other services they can add, or if they have good community managers or people in, if they hire good people to kind of help run it. That's what you need,
yeah,
is have good representation of your project, and it'll be fine. Look at Limitless and what he's done with Bitmap Emporium.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he's like encouraged and given confidence to the holders to not want to list their stuff, not because he's like saying, hey, there's this huge it's going to jump up in price and double. They don't even care about, if you go over the Discord, the Bitmap Emporium Discord, they don't even
yeah,
care about price. What they care about is like what they can do to change the space. And that's why I'm so glad I picked up a couple when I did, because you got good leaders like that. Then you form other natural good leaders as well. We've seen it in our space too, like in
yeah.
our community. Like our best community members are good leaders, and they help new people that come into our Discord. You know what I mean? And so, as long as Buoyant Capital can do that, I think that their collection could do decent. But it's not easy to do that. I'll say
It's
that.
not. They do have a lot of money behind them, though, right? I mean, to
Yeah,
buy
you can
eight
do
Bitcoin for an
that.
art
Yeah,
for the
you
runestone,
can
it's
do
pretty
that
big.
with obviously when you have capital, you can put good leaders in place too.
Yeah,
But there's got to be a good, you got to still find the good quality people, because the people that don't care about money only, you know what I mean? So
yeah. What do you think too about this potential? I mean, this is just a rumor. Lobo the Wolf Pup PFP collection being the child to the parent of that runestone. They do
I
have
think
that in
that,
their back pocket as well.
yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I think that would be
Yeah,
really cool. Again, like a lot of this is so new to everybody,
yeah,
right? So we got to kind of see how this all plays out, in my opinion. But it's interesting, and I think it's a good case study, right? Because like we're gonna
yeah,
see how all this plays out. It could like really do very well. Like, look, if Raktoshi is behind R6, then you have someone that's a like feel how you want about Raktoshi. The
yeah,
guy moves Bitcoin, like in terms of like floor price. Like, we saw it with Node Monkeys. We saw it with like other things that R6 and stuff like that. If he's behind it, you got someone like that. You got Casey kind of behind Runes, and so like there's a lot of like crazy stuff could happen once Bitcoin starts. Runes hasn't experienced like Bitcoin moving aggressively and everybody in euphoria yet. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But BRC20s has, and Ordinal collections have, and we saw the direct result of that. But I think the next run up, when people start to feel euphoric, would be like Bitcoin getting to 80 plus thousand. Once Bitcoin has 80,000 up, 80 to 85,000, euphoria will come back in.
Yep.
People will start, getting profits from their Bitcoin holdings and stuff. And if they're in this space, which a lot of people hold Bitcoin over here, then they can, put that back into some of these projects. And that's what I'm excited to see, if like this whole ordinal to token system works.
Yeah, I agree. That was well put, and actually led us perfectly into our next topic here, which is the RSIC team just welcomed in a bunch of Memeland community members. Holder count went to a whopping 127,000 wallets, and then dipped. So what happened was they reached out to the Memeland. Memeland is like a Decentraland type of like metaverse, but it's like different apps. I guess it's more like Magic in that sense of on Arbitrum. There's just a bunch of games and stuff, and they have a big community, right? A lot of people like to play to earn. So I guess they reached out to Memeland, and they did a thing where if you tweeted about it, you got like 3,000 tokens, which is like $35, $34 at the time. What do you think about that? What do you think about them reaching out to this Ethereum community and trying to get more people to open up wallets and got them a free $30, $40 potentially in Bitcoin, because a lot of them sold.
Yep, a lot of them sold. We saw that on the timeline. But I think it was very smart. I think it was very smart to increase the holder count, because that was the one thing that like Runestones had on RSIC was the holder count. And now they're like really close, right? Are they number one now, or
they were?
I'm
not sure if they still are.
Yeah, maybe Runestones is back up, or Dog to the Moon is back up, but that is
no, they're up by a lot. So I have it here.
RSIC is?
Yeah, RSIC's winning by 50,000.
Oh wow!
On them.
I didn't realize that.
I
75,000. You're right. My bad. Yeah. So yeah, that's actually I think it was really smart for that. Raktoshi again, right? Like the guy's like just really good at being able to be successful in his projects, man. I mean, like it's just he either has that like experience from running projects on Ethereum, or something, because it looks like he's doing a good job over here if he's behind this. I think it was worth it to see that holder count, right? So like he knew that a lot of people were going to probably dump $40 maybe some people had like multiple wallets for that or whatever, but at the end of the day they have the largest holder count, right? So
yeah. And it was when this happened though, 30 to 40,000 new wallets opened up. So he not only did he airdrop $30, but he had them each Ethereum guys who never used Bitcoin before opened up some Bitcoin. Obviously, some of them probably had some, but with there being like 30,000 new wallets in that couple hours that this happened, that was pretty big.
Yeah. So. No, you're right. It brought a lot of attention to it too. So I was talking about giving Leo props for bringing attention to ordinals and the Bitcoin on-chain economy. Raktoshi too, man, you got to give him props for this if he's behind it.
Yeah. That's the thing. We think he is.
Yeah, exactly.
But the whole community knows it's Raktoshi. It just he feels like they think they know it's Raktoshi, but it's not official. Raktoshi, we think that he had a big part in helping create ordinals and everything with that. So he's definitely in the mix there. There's rumors about him and Casey doing it together, but again, everything's just a rumor. It might not even be Raktoshi at all. It might be a completely different team, but we're just telling you guys what we think.
Yeah. No, so they've been rocking, right along. I feel like they're gonna be it's gonna be them and Dog to the Moon kind of be the top here, but like it seems like RSIC has more plans in the future too, right? Not just some meme token or whatever. So I don't know what's the market cap of RSIC, RSIC coin, Rune coin or whatever.
I think it's like 300 million.
Okay, so that's pretty high.
I'm not on the Runes page, but it's definitely high. It's right now our market cap is 237 million. Okay, so I'm a little low. So 237 million. They do. It's actually again leads us perfectly into our next thing here. announcement from RSIC coming soon. They are hyping it up. They never did a fake engagement farming to pump the floor. They've never done that before. I don't know if this could be something that they're doing for the first time, but they keep coming out. It's the Rune Dev and the Rune Coin Twitter accounts. They keep tweeting something big is coming with them. They want to be the first meta protocol on top of runes. Or what they're building is we have no idea. We're hearing rumors from of exchanges, rumors of like a different protocol. We're hearing rumors of different things from different people, but it's all just leading up to something big is coming. What's your opinion on this engagement farming tactic that they might be doing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like the pent up demand approach works very well. We saw it with Node Monks. We saw it with Quantum Cats did it a little bit. Who else did it? That was pretty big. Someone else did it. Was that anyways, we saw the case study from Node Monks that it did a great job with it, right? Obviously up until the end when it pissed people off. But I think that this is going to be good for them just because, you know, we've seen it work, and it's the same people that it worked for the first time, right? So he probably has like some of those same genius marketers behind it this time. Obviously, like this is a little different because like you want to see some sort of product rollout, right? With this, at the end of the day, I think there's some exciting stuff that's happening in Bitcoin that I never would have expected. And so that can change the landscape completely here in the next 6 months, in my opinion. And so, you know, whatever they roll out, if it's something that can interact and what I'm thinking could happen and be more realistic, it looks more realistically like it could happen, then the next 6 months could be really, really interesting for Bitcoin.
I 100% agree. Kind of lead us into I just sent you something in the private if you want to if you wouldn't mind reading that, but I'm gonna jump into this. So I'm already showing my screen here. All right. So Track just had a big announcement. A new version of the TAP protocol with privilege authorities has been released. Privilege authorities allow for token units and collectibles. So I took it that right from here. Unats and collectible allow lists, launchpads, burn bridges, and stuff. So Track is cooking. What do you think about this big announcement that they dropped about 12 hours ago?
So that sounds like they're creating almost kind of like an ability to whitelist like tokens, you know, unats, any type of like tap digital asset. Yet like platforms can whitelist them, right? Which is really cool because, I mean, I guess like it's kind of like, you know, like a DEX, for example.
Yeah.
If you were to let's think of an EVM traditional sense, right? Like you have a new DEX. There's tokens on there that the DEX isn't so sure about. They're not going to whitelist those, but certain ones that they are confident about, they will whitelist, put their logo next to it. I think that's what this is. But for TAP, which is really cool because we haven't really seen too much of that. Obviously, we've seen it like on Unisat, but it's starting to happen like OKX a little bit. But yeah, so I think that's cool for TAP. I think whatever that, you know, they can start to build and move on TAP is really important. And I think like you've had some conversations on the side, you know, with some people that are very integral like in terms of you know, TAP development and stuff. And it seems like there's going to be a rush that's coming. It seems like now that kind of some things have gone by. So
yeah, TAP's been playing it well. They've been just kind of sitting on the sideline there, waiting for the Merlin hype to kind of go down, and it has. Waiting for the Rune hype to go down, and it has. And now they're going to be launching. And I've been talking to some prominent members of the team over there, and something big is coming. They're going to start doing campaigns and really starting to push this. They got a lot of money behind them, and I'm curious what they're going to do next. Definitely are. I mean, yeah, I've always been a fan of TAP, right? I just been disappointed in how long it takes, and you know, I'm a very you can call me impatient, and I probably am, but you know, when it comes to being, you know, Ordinal Revolution, we have to always kind of say what's going on, and when nothing's going on, there's nothing to talk about, right? So What do you think Tap goes from here? Do you think the transfer inscription is still going to be a problem with them or no?
Well, first I'll if you are a platform that uses Tap protocol, then you definitely need to upgrade if you have a Tap reader. So just make sure that you upgrade so all of this is kind of like, all being I don't want interoperable, I guess, with each other, so
Yeah.
everybody's on the same page. Yeah, it's kind of like I need to see it, type of situation. I think that look, Benny's obviously talented to a point to where he was able to develop another fungible standard that seemed to be more flexible, but very similar to BRC20 in terms of you still need two transactions, right? With the transfer inscription still. I don't know, man. You know, like I was kind of hinting in the last topic about some stuff that's coming to Bitcoin possibly in the next 6 months, and that's whenever I think we'll see if there's going to be one standard for fungible tokens or not. Because at the same time, we still have the 10-minute block.
Mhm.
That's not going to change. That's not going to change unless they change the block size, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, so it's kind of I'm still up in the air with it. I think that the concept and stuff. They have a lot of stuff. They're working with Block Runner a lot, which we know those guys are talented. Will and Iman, they are talented. As much as like people might not love, the non-arbitrary tokens and stuff like that. There's a good amount of people that do love it. I love the concept of it. I actually absolutely love grabbing data, non-arbitrary data, and turning it into assets. I think that could be so great for gamified situations. So they have a lot going for themselves. Let's kind of see it get rolled out. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
I can't really give like a definitive way of how I feel on this because I feel positive that I feel like maybe now they feel like now's the time to strike. So that could be good. That could be like aggressive rollouts. Something that we've been waiting for a while.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The only concern I have is that transfer inscription. If they can't get rid of that, unless they go to a full pipe, and integrate tap and pipe, I think that's the only issue that they're going to have. I just think it really stops building when you have for the actual token itself. I mean, building around it is fine, having it, but like the way it's traded right now is just tough. Do you think they go away from that, or do you think they're just going to kind of stick it out?
Uh, I mean, I don't know how you could unless you kind of do away with the old meta
Yeah.
protocol and create a new one. But maybe there's ways. The one cool thing about these inscription tokens is once you and I think most meta protocols could work this way, but once you kind of get away from trying to change Bitcoin, you can actually scale the meta protocol itself. If because a lot of times people are like so worried about trying to upgrade Bitcoin and all this stuff. Now, does that mean like there would possibly be some bridging and stuff like that? Possibly, yeah. But like you can make a lot of these inscription tokens meta protocols like programmable, and I think that's what we're seeing with Tap. Actually, to be honest, they're doing these promises. That's what they're called. And now they have like these privileged authorities. So BRC20 2.0 has their programmability. I think also in these inscription token environments, we're going to see some cool innovation within those type of tokens, the accounting based tokens, not the UTXO model tokens. And that's going to be really, really interesting in the next 6 months because it's not just BRC20 and Domo and Layer 1 Foundation that's been working behind the scenes. It's Benny, his team, and like he's got investment, right? So they've been working on making their stuff programmable and composable within their meta protocol, trying to scale it as well. So I think that they can figure something out to where they put users in a enjoyable environment on how to use their tokens and stuff like that. So we'll
So
see.
my last question on this, because it's an interesting one, is Benny building a layer two? He has EVM background. He's an EVM guy. Is he building an EVM layer two? to kind of? I know a lot of people
Yeah,
are.
I think we actually probably should all probably stop saying layer 2.
Okay, side
Because like
chain.
it's kind of getting, it's like now it's kind of getting into my head to where like I get annoyed every time I hear it too now, because yeah, they're all side chains except for Lightning Network. That's the only one that you can bridge directly to without using, you know, some sort of multi-sig, right? Um, and so do I think that he is building a side chain? I don't know. So like the only reason that Unisat works on Merlin is because of the account abstraction technique,
Yeah,
right? And so you're assigning an EVM address to the Unisat Bitcoin address, right? That's different than like actually allowing like the Unisat address to work in your environment directly without account abstraction, right? I think it's really cool what Merlin's done, and I think other Bitcoin sidechains will do that as well, especially a lot of the Chinese and ones that come out. But I think like what BRC 2.0 and stuff like that is using is they're using the actual Bitcoin address directly. So that's why they don't want to call it a side chain or a layer 2 or anything
yeah.
like that. Because they're going to use the Unisat address directly. Does that mean that you can bridge? You might have to bridge, yeah. Because like even right now, if I were to use, let's say we would try to use BRC20s to runes, we would have to bridge that over as well.
Yeah.
You know, so to kind of change the meta protocol state, but it would just be like a burn to 1-to-1 on the other side. But yeah, do I think that he could be trying to like formulate and create his version of like this 1.5 hybrid modular? I don't know if he's using modular, but yeah, he could be building out his own ecosystem behind the scenes, you know. And with Block Runner too, with their non-arbitrary tokens, I think that was smart that he kind of grabbed them and said, hey, you know, we like what you're doing in terms of your tech and stuff. So we'll just have to see, you know.
Yeah.
I'll say this final statement on all this stuff, because I know I've been talking a lot this morning, but we've had a lot of talk with a lot of these meta protocols, a lot of talk and a lot of like previews and snippets and stuff like that to get people excited. But there hasn't been a lot of actual like building in terms of tooling and actual platforms. I'm not trying to take anything away from like the meta protocol based building of that, because I think those are great. Atomicals, runes, you know, tap on the inscription tokens and BRC20 and 2.0, but to actually make the user experience elevated, there's just been a lot of talk, and I'm ready for less talk and more action.
Well, I mean, there really hasn't been much talk from track at all. You know, that's kind of one of the things. So I think the action's coming with them, and we hear rumors about this wallet. If their wallet can be their own version of what Unisat is, and with the count abstraction is, it could be something that is really interoperable for their sidechain layer 2. And I say layer 2 only because like eventually down the line all these side chains could eventually, if Bitcoin is upgraded, which I don't think it will be, but if it ever is upgraded, potentially these side chains do become layer 2s, like kind of seeing with Stacks is doing something that with the Nakamoto upgrade, that's, I mean, it's the closest thing to a layer 2 you can possibly have.
Yeah,
So
I think they use tokens to solidify their bridge. They do like a kind of like a token staking or something
yeah.
like weird. That's not necessarily multi-sig. It's kind of a weird way to do permissionless. Maybe I gotta look into that more. But yeah,
But there's
no,
there's so many ideas that are coming that are just not here right now, and I
yeah,
think you potentially could do things where it's not perfect, but until it's upgraded, it's the closest thing possible.
yeah. And one thing I want the audience to kind of keep in mind is this. We're not first. I'll say this. I've said it before. We're not Ethereum, so we don't necessarily have to have one single standard. But let's say we do, right? Let's say we eventually just have one single standard. There's going to be builders that are building right now with their meta protocols that are not going to give up. They're not going to stop building. And what's going to happen is their meta protocol is going to turn into something amazing eventually. Whether that's atomicals, because like let's say that Runes takes over market share in terms of on Bitcoin layer 1. You think atomicals is going to stop building? I don't think so. I think what they're going to do is they're going to build in the background, and they're going to figure out a way to allow their protocol, meta protocol, to flourish eventually in some way or form or fashion. I think there's going to be a couple of those, and then I think there's going to be some that do give up though, and they say
Yeah.
runes 1 here on Bitcoin layer 1, or maybe BRC 20 2.01 on Bitcoin layer 1, or whoever wins, right? And they say there's no use for me to continue to build, and I think that those will go away. But the ones that continue to build, I think in the future, when we look down the line, maybe like the next cycle, at the start of the next cycle, we'll be like, dude, you remember when atomicals like started back in, when we were in the Bitcoin on-chain ecosystem, and we thought like they would fade away forever. Now they're like this huge, like, layer 2 now, or like they're this huge, like, their own chain. They broke out into their own chain, and they developed their own chain or whatever. I think we're gonna surprise those project founders that have that motivation and ambition to continue to build are going to surprise people like us, even maybe, and we'll be like, man, that was awesome, because we were there. We could say we were there when they started.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to be proven wrong. I want there to be as many amazing things to happen on Bitcoin as possible, and then kind of go from there. But yeah. Going on to the next topic, and it is, I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite topic of this entire show. But we have Trump cards coming to Bitcoin. So they're doing it all right. So they had a Trump card, and they did one, and they parented child the rest of these to that one original one of one, and now there's a whole bunch of these Trump cards. So with everything that's happening in politics right now, and we're not a politics show, but with what happened last year with the what they were doing to the banks and stuff like that, and we knew someone in New York who sent $7,000 to their bank account, and his bank account got closed, from Coinbase. And what's happening last week with them suing another wallet and going after another wallet, and now with this 47% capital gains tax that they're pushing, something needs to change for us in crypto. If you're in crypto and you're not, like, this is the only hope that we have to get Gary Gensler and this regime out. If we do 4 more years with them, potentially there's going to be a problem. They're going to come after they're going to come after your wallets. They're going to want all the Bitcoin trading to be done on centralized exchanges. Obviously I heard someone say, yeah, they try to get marijuana out of people's hands for years. They're never going to be able to do this, and they probably won't. But it's going to be frowned upon for new users to come in and play with this. And in November, we do have an opportunity. This guy's putting out trading cards on Bitcoin, right? Which definitely means that he's going to be pro, what we're doing over here, right? He's not going to be as hard-handed as this administration that we're involved in right now. What's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on all that? Because it's really important. People say, "Oh, don't get political," but it's really important for us to be know what's going on.
Was it confirmed that was by his camp?
Yeah, it's 100%.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. It's yeah, I agree with you. It's I think this is the biggest most important election of our, I don't, like you said, we don't want to go too far into politics, but it's the most important election of our country's history, in my opinion. So we definitely need a pro Bitcoin, pro privacy. And that's the thing about what we've seen with him, is that he likes to kind of have the individual to be able to have that control over themselves, as long as they're not affecting society in a negative way, right? And so we'll see what happens, man. But like, have those launched?
No, not yet. They're all
November,
being
right?
inscribed. They're
No,
being
I'm just
inscribed
kidding.
when the fees drop. It would be awesome to drop it around like maybe July, August. I mean, this is all money for his campaign too. They're raising money for this. This is just campaign money that they're getting and stuff, which is all all normal for someone running for president. And this is, I love it. I'm gonna get multiple.
Dude, you know
of
what
these.
would be awesome? Like if like Corey or someone from like the rare stat industry, like deemed the first time he was president, the inauguration day, as like a rare, like a Trump sat, and like he like inscribed all these on Trump sats or something like that.
I mean, we can do that ourselves. We can say these
technically.
mean something. Yeah.
So, and so yeah, I think that's really cool. We'll see. It kind of goes to show, like, just kind of where both sides are at, right? Like, one is trying to overtax us with these assets, and then
Yep.
one is like inscribing a card set on Bitcoin. So I don't know, man. This just kind of made my morning. I was kind of up and down, and like this whole weekend was just kind of like, because I like to see people like in good spirits and stuff, especially with our community and other things, and
Yeah.
sometimes I of course, like everybody has their own personal things they got going on too. And so this kind of brings a little bit of joy to me this morning, seeing that this is coming. Look, and we're not trying to push our show in one way or another politically, but you guys kind of know how the Bitcoin space is, right?
Yeah.
In terms of where everybody fits with like where we feel like we have a best chance as a space. And I think that's all I'll say about that part.
Well, it's pretty obvious. If you're voting for the current administration, you're voting against crypto. Like we saw
So
Operation Choke Point. We saw they're cutting off banks. We saw our good friend send $7,000 in Coinbase and got his bank account taken down. Right. So, it's an obvious. I don't give a crap what you're political. I don't care about anything else. Like there's nothing in this thing, anything else. I'm just saying from a crypto standpoint, he's better for crypto. He is launching an ordinal collection. He has Ethereum collections. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I don't give a crap about anything else but this for our show. And we can get into debates, other debates, whatever. But for this show, crypto, this is an obvious thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll end it there because I'm probably gonna get a lot of people in the comments talking crap. But it is what it is.
Yep. I agree.
All right, we're kind of getting close to the time here. We'll jump over one of these topics. I did want to hit on this really quickly. So Opcat goes live next week on Bitcoin's official testnet, Signet. I will give you guys a thing. So there is testnet, which is mainly testnet
Miners.
is the name of a test network designed for miners where they can test their equipment and infrastructure to generate blocks in the testing environment. And that's what you see in your wallet, your Xverse wallet, when you switch it over to testnet or your Unisat. You're going to go to the mining one. So there's also another one called Signet. Signet is the name of the Bitcoin testnet designed for developers to test their software. There's no miners on Signet. Blocks are created by the Signet operator without proof of work. So that's the difference, right? So Opcat is going live next week on Bitcoin's official testnet, Signet. What's your opinion on this? Udi seems very optimistic about getting this EIP 420 pushed through. What do you think?
I mean, no one thought he would get a bit number assigned to that. He got it done. I don't know, everything that people said that like they couldn't do, they've gotten done up until like the big kahuna, right? And I posted that exact comment on his post about this. I don't know, man. Like if it does go live, like on mainnet eventually, that's a big game changer, and that's what I was kind of talking about earlier. Because now you can have smart contracts on Bitcoin. I still think that most of the user experience won't be. I think people will probably try to attempt to do stuff on layer one, but it's still going to be just way too slow. But I think it will make like bridging so much more seamless. And that's the biggest hurdle right now is is being able to and like when you bridge, you're gonna be able to use any language, dude. Like Solidity, Rust, like Solana, Ethereum, Merlin, whatever. It's gonna be a permissionless type of bridging, and that's gonna be a game changer big time because for inflows and outflows, right? Because now you can have people bridge in a lot of liquidity easy to Bitcoin, and that's one of the biggest things that's holding that whole Bitcoin ecosystem compared to like the total liquidity of like Bitcoin in general versus Ethereum is like the inflows and outflows. Like, yeah, you can obviously send Bitcoin from any Bitcoin address like Coinbase and all these other, but when you have bridging in the game, now you can change other assets from other chains over, and you can add different assets to Bitcoin, that represent like USDT and other things, because now you have a bridge that's permissionless, so I don't know. It's a little scary just because Bitcoin has been Bitcoin. I think like if like us that come from like, let's be honest, like come from like the degening world, but like we started with Bitcoin. It's
Yeah.
like when I started with Bitcoin in 2013, it wasn't like the fundamentals of this is so amazing. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I love it. I was just like, oh, this is really cool. Like I can actually gamble with this in the sense, like put my money into this digital coin and then like when number didn't go up, I was just kind of like, well, what's cheaper that can, scale
Yeah.
up? And then spend time over there and then come back and then you're over here for a year and you learn and you appreciate like how Bitcoin works. You know what I mean? You learn and you're like, this is why a lot of people are so passionate about it. But definitely there needs to be a way to scale. And I think as long as like we don't um mess with the security side of things, I think it would be okay still.
100% agree. And what they want to do is they want to do cat VM, which is a virtual machine, Ethereum virtual machine, but they want to bridge through Bitcoin, and that so this upgrade will allow actual layer twos to exist, right? I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
this is the only way we can actually have real layers. Until then, to your point from earlier, they're all side chains, and you're getting tired of hearing the L2 thing. But with this actually makes them L2s, and this will allow many more L2s, and it will take a lot of congestion off of Bitcoin as it is now and put it to these other chains, because there's a lot of things coming. There's a lot of people building here, and more going to get more crazy. Obviously, we saw the Rune hype, and we saw record breaking gas fees, and now it's kind of kind of quiet, but then it's going to build back up. And when the bull market hits, it's going to be normal to be paying $60-$70 per transaction. So allowing this will take a lot of the heat off Bitcoin. So I think it's going to get passed? Honestly, no, just because Larry Fink's here now, and they don't want no room for error. And right now, Bitcoin's been tested for 14 years now, going on 15 years, and they don't want they don't want that. I don't think so. But
Yeah.
but it really depends on the miners, right? Because they're the ones who actually control this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like you're really kind of I think you're giving too much power to them right this early. I think they will have not I'm not talking about the miners, I'm talking about BlackRock and them.
Yeah,
I
I
think
got you.
they will have that power that you're talking about eventually. I just think it's too early for them to have that power now. Now, obviously, they have trillions of dollars to work with here. Not trillions available, but like a lot of money basically to throw at people to manipulate the system. But miners, you're right. Miners are, dude, like they're the ones that matter. And I'm sorry for smaller miners. I'm not saying you don't matter because you do, but like in terms of like being able to get things done, the larger miners are the ones that are going to have most of the voting power, right? And so um they're talking about rare sats. They're celebrating these epic sats. This is more and more. We're starting to see more and more activity into the ordinal ecosystem and stuff. So,
Yeah,
why wouldn't they want more volume? And that's what this would do is essentially, provide more volume. Because even if you go layer two, the miners still make money, dude. Because like all this stuff is being rolled up, right? Because it's as long as it's finalizing, it has Bitcoin finality, then that's all that matters because then the miners are still going to get the fees, right? Um, so I think obviously, I have to look further into that. If that's exactly how all of the L2s would work. But, I think that they want more volume. And also, like I said, people will attempt to do the swapping and stuff, AMM on layer 100%. They will do it if we have these op codes added, right? So I don't know. It would be an exciting time. But the one thing that I was talking about this earlier was if this happens, this also helps a lot of these other meta protocols have a brighter future, in my opinion, because now you're opening an easy bridge to another like atomicals could theoretically just create the atomicals layer two, and then now you bridge all the tokens back and forth from Bitcoin to atomicals, and you're trading like on atomicals. You know what I'm saying? Layer two. Same thing with tap or whatever. I think that one will be a little bit more tricky because it is inscription based, but the possibilities there is all I'm saying. And so I think the opcat or a lot of other people are saying I think it's opt TRV or T or CRV or CTV, I think it is very can do the same things with OpCat, but a little less flexible, I think. But you have more options to do things. I don't know. But either way, one of those, if they got approved or added to core, then it would be a game changer for the chain.
I 100% agree, 100%. And yeah, I'm curious to see what happens next. For sure. I was thinking we save the market updates. We'll just do it during our lives, guys. We go live from Monday to Friday from 11 to 12:30 Eastern time. That's 10 a.m. Central and 7 a.m. Pacific. So check us out all week, guys. We're gonna be live from Monday to Friday. So we're gonna save. Are you okay with that? Saving the market updates for the week?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I do mine Monday through Friday too on my Twitter page. So for the runes at least. So
Yeah.
I'm taking the weekends off this time until things get really crazy.
But we do have one more topic I did have on here since we are skipping that. So this is something I find very sketchy, guys. So Nakamoto, the first Bitcoin layer one synthetic dollar, they basically came out and they did this thing and they spelled the word bank, and it was an accident because they tweeted about, hey, our team misspelled the word bank. This seems very ruggy to me. They gave themselves like 90% of the supply and let everyone mint the rest of them. It did mint out yesterday. I know our guy Dripto, he keeps tweeting about this, and I love Dripto, and that's the only reason why I want to bring this up. Is just I want everyone to be a little careful. It could be something big. It could just be a misstep by some people whose English aren't that good, and they made a mistake with this. But this just looks very ruggy to me. I hope it's not. I really do. I hope it's real, and I hope we have more people building stable coins on Bitcoin. But what do you think about this Nakamoto protocol and everything that happened over the past weekend?
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't there another stable token that's Ducat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a couple that came out the gate just talking about this. So that's interesting. I don't know too much about this Nakamoto synthetic dollar, but that was a big misstep. And I think that like they could have at least just relaunched it. You know what I mean? Just do it right. So that's what kind of sticks out to me is kind of like, oh well, you guys obviously someone on your team should have caught that and then just just launched a new one. But we'll see. Maybe
Well, the
they already
problem
have
was
people minting.
in seconds, someone else came out with the real correct version of it.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't them. So they stole the ticket right from underneath them. So they're kind of stuck with this one. So
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah. All right, guys, that's going to be our show today. Just be very wary of projects. We're going to get a lot of big like scam projects coming in. Not saying that is one. I'm just saying that we have to be on the lookout for them, and these type of mistakes like that, it just kind of show you where where their heads at. But it could just been, like I said, it could have been just an honest mistake as well. So I don't want to give them that. But check us out Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. 11 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific all week, guys. Check us out. Definitely check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles. We have some amazing articles from last week. We've been killing it with articles. And if you are going to Bitcoin National, we have a 20% off coupon at the top there. Just click it, and then you get that 20% off when you go to sign up for it. And then also we have a store. If you're going to Bitcoin Nashville, wear your Ordinals gear. Let's show these maxis where you stand. Let's have as much Ordinals gear on the streets as possible. If it's not from us, make sure it's from someone else. But we do have some of the best Ordinals gear on there, so check that out. We're going to be adding more and more stuff. I know I keep saying that, but we're going to get on it. We're definitely going to get on to adding more stuff. And we do have our members. We're going to go probably do a members live at some point this week, if not today. So check that out. We're going to start doing members only lives where you get one-on-one with us. I mean, yesterday I did one just to kind of test it out a little bit, and it was amazing. I had 11, 12 people in there asking great questions about what we're doing personally. Could be a really great way to interact with you guys. We appreciate all of our members and everything else. And did I miss anything, my friend?
No, I think you covered everything, man.
All right. We'll see you guys all week. See you guys.
Peace.
Ordinal Revolution. Let's go.